I'll call my brother Mike and my ex-fiancée Tammy. 10 years ago, my then fiancé left me at the altar, the most humiliating thing I've ever been through, and went on our honeymoon with Mike. In her note, she told me she loved him since high school, but he was never interested, so she used me to get to him. She claimed to have loved me at some point, but she and Mike knew they were soulmates after a drunken one-night stand. I'm not going to lie, I was a wreck for about a year. Every time I tried to move forward that day, the memory of her mother tearfully handing me the note and everyone's faces would set me back. But time's a healer. I've moved on. I disowned Mike and haven't spoken to both of them in 10 years. For the first 2 years, my family hid that they had any contact with him, but then just sat me down one day and told me Tammy was pregnant and Mike was planning to marry her soon, so I needed to get over it because they were going to the wedding, baby shower, etc. To be honest, I was hurt at how they went about it, but they're adults. I can't control what they do with their lives. I asked them not to invite me to anything they would be at or expect me to forgive him. They tried multiple times to make us talk, but they got the picture after a year of no contact. Fast forward to last week. I heard Mike and Tammy are expecting their 5th child, and Mike's business went bankrupt last September. Then the chain Tammy works at closed down, and they have zero savings. My family hinted that my wife and I should help them for the kids' sake because we are the most financially successful. My wife told them straight up no and said tell Mike to look for a job, and we left. A while later, I got a call from an unknown number. I had a feeling who it was, but I just had to answer. From the moment I said hello, both Mike and Tammy started ranting about me needing to get over Tammy, saying I'm a piece of crap for punishing kids for something that happened years ago. Finally, my brother asked me, how does it feel to be the reason his kids go hungry? So I told him that's his problem, not mine. They started yelling and crying, so I just hung up. Since then, my whole family has been calling me names for taking my anger out on Mike's innocent children. My wife said I should tell them all to screw themselves and ask them to put their hands in their own pockets. Not the idiot. I love your wife, and I'm getting a tan from her blazing shiny spine. She's right. Plus, she is truly all the family you need. Mike and Tammy made their choice 10 years ago. The thing is, Tammy knew what she was doing and could have ended it way before the ceremony. Coupled with the fact she had a one-night stand where your bro gets his culpability, the gross cherry on top. They took your honeymoon. I'd have sued for that. I hope you got the ring back or dues for the cost. I love the wife too, and she's correct, especially about them reaching in their own pockets. But the audacity of Mike and Tammy calling and screaming like they have any high moral ground is laughable. So block them all and enjoy life with your real family, that hero wife you have. Not the idiot. They are complete idiots. If you are asking for someone to help you, you grovel at their feet, not tell them how crappy of a person they are. Secondly, how irresponsible of them to have a 5th child that they cannot support. Sorry about your family mess. I'd say continue not having them in your life as you have been. If your parents want to help, then that's their choice. You owe your brother nothing. I'm also kind of shocked that they would have the gall to even have the conversation and start blaming OP when they haven't spoken in years. Now that they need him, suddenly OP is the problem? Convenient. Those kids aren't your responsibility any more than they are anybody else's. The rest of your family can ante up and shut up about it. You're the reason their kids go hungry? LMFAO, do not get me wrong. I wouldn't say I like seeing anyone go hungry. And trust, I had to have help once or 100 times when my kids were little. And no, there wasn't a global issue. But they seem to be sitting back waiting for you and your wife to save the day and not making any advances to change their circumstances. She humiliated you and he let her. And now they need you? Please. But let's say you help them just this once. Then they'll think they're in good with you and try to keep using you. I would not. Nope, no way. However, although I think you're not the idiot, I couldn't sit back and let the kids suffer just because their parents are idiots. Maybe buy them kid-friendly meals to last a week and let them fend for themselves, because any other avenue and they will benefit too. I grew up in a small city where I also went to uni and where I started working after graduation. I have been supervising students from the university on their clinical placements for a few years now with no issues. A couple of months ago, I was once again contacted by the university to check if I'd be able to supervise a student this semester. I said yes, and as usual, I was told we'd get each other's contact info closer to the start of the internship so we could work out the details. The issue was that last week, when I got the student's info, I realized that I knew her and that she was my middle school/high school bully. I'd heard through the grapevine that she had started on the same program I had been in. She had been working in some other field and done a career change, but I didn't anticipate, perhaps wrongly, that I might end up supervising her. When I received her contact info, I emailed the school saying that I knew the student personally and therefore thought it might not be the best idea for me to supervise them. Although I haven't spoken to her in years, I saw it as a potential liability if her internship didn't go well. In all honesty, I also didn't want to have to deal with her and relive the traumatic experiences from my teenage years. The school wrote back to say that they understood and would try to place the student elsewhere. A couple of days later, I was told that due to global situation, they were struggling to find another placement and that the student was okay with me supervising them if I was okay with it too. The issue is I'm not, and I told them so, which was the end of it. However, the student called me on my personal phone, which she has from back when, to beg me to take her in because she hasn't been able to get an internship anywhere else, and without it, she will not graduate on time. This is not her final internship, but it will set her back one semester. I told her I didn't think it was appropriate, and she said that we hadn't spoken to each other for years, and what I was doing to her wasn't fair. I stayed firm in my position, and we hung up. Afterwards, she sent me a bunch of really angry texts, including one where she said, "This is why no one liked you in high school." But eventually she went back to pleading. I never responded, but now I'm starting to feel bad, wondering if maybe I am the idiot for not taking her in. Am I? Not the idiot. This girl clearly has the emotional intelligence of a stick of butter. In your place, I might have at least considered supervising her if I'd gotten a sincere apology for what happened in high school, but that doesn't even seem to have occurred to her. Throwing it in your face and then going back to pleading is particularly baffling. The unprofessional texts serve only to confirm it. Karma's a witch. Not the idiot. You did everything professionally and above board. You do not need to sacrifice your past hurtful history to assist her in graduating. The university is correct. She can be okay with you, but you also have the right to not be okay with her in a supervisory role. Pass the text along to your university so they have this on record just in case, as her behavior shows she will escalate this. Document everything and do not feel bad. Not the idiot. Honestly, I'm pretty shocked she contacted you on your personal phone, and the fact she brought your school years into this means she knows exactly what the issue is. I'd also let her course know she contacted you, by the way. They should speak to her before she does an internship in the future. Well, she pretty much proved you made the right decision. If you'd given her less than a stellar evaluation, if you'd given her any negative feedback, anything at all, she'd have gone off on you and blamed you for her deficiencies. You are not wrong, Hero P. And keep all her correspondence. Screenshot the text. Retain all this for when she inevitably reports you for sabotaging her academic career out of personal malice. I, 25 female, am a seamstress. It's not my job, but I've done quite a few pieces throughout the years. So far, I've made 3 wedding gowns and a couple of graduation dresses, apart from everyday clothes. My friend Karina, 26, is getting married, and she asked me to make her dress. As a wedding gift, I told her that I would pay for the materials, as long as they were not expensive or unique, so she just had to pay me an hourly rate for my work. She wasn't very excited about that. She expected me to gift her the dress, but she accepted. This was 3 months ago, and I could already feel something was not right, but looking back at it, I was dumb for not listening to my gut. Karina has been an absolute nightmare to work with. I genuinely have never encountered someone more exasperating, and I've worked in retail. So far, she's changed the fabric, the shape, the details, and the overall design of the dress multiple times. She has also been extremely specific about certain costly materials. Karina says she has good taste and needs everything to be perfect, but I think she's extremely obnoxious. My breaking point was when she decided that she needed Swarovski crystals in her dress. I asked her if she thought of adding them as details, but then she told me that she wanted the whole dress covered in them, in Swarovski crystals, that I have to pay. I started laughing from how ridiculous it sounded. This was all by text, by the way. I texted her that there was no way I was paying for those crystals. I then sent her this message: Karina, I truly appreciate your friendship, but I've realized that you have not been a nice person to work with. Your demands are unreasonable, and you've been taking advantage of me. Therefore, I've decided to end our deal here, and I will send you the bill for my work to finish the gown as we previously agreed. When you pay me, you may come for your dress. She then texts me that she doesn't have to pay a single penny for my work, since I am the one who is not fulfilling my part of the deal. I then text her, no pay, no dress. Karina's wedding is in a month, and she's freaking out on social media, looking for secondhand dresses or places to rent wedding gowns, which leads me to believe that she was counting on me gifting her the dress. I feel awful. Everyone I have told this says that what I did was an idiot move, but Karina deserved it. I truly don't know. I was thinking of finishing the dress in a more simpler manner and gifting it to Karina. She wanted a Swarovski crystal encrusted dress? Sweet baby Jesus. I used to use them a bit in beading. Only a bit, because they are pretty stupidly expensive. I don't even want to think about how much it would cost to buy enough of them to cover an entire wedding dress, not to mention the work involved in sewing them all on. You are not the idiot. She can go to the store and buy a dress in a month, so don't put yourself out any more for this person. Not the idiot. Bridezilla never intended to pay you a dime. Lesson for you: you didn't limit material cost. Not too expensive is extremely subjective. Do not back down on no money, no dress. I would go ahead and finish it and put a fair price tag on it. Then if she wants it, she can pay for it. If not, sell it cheap online so another bride can take it and have it fitted and altered as needed for herself. Not the idiot. Listen, if she does need that dress, she'll pay for it. If she doesn't, it means she knows she can't afford it and was all too happy to put it on your tab. This is like offering to buy your friends lunch, so they purposefully order the lobster tail and their most expensive bottle of wine. Screw these people. Some important context. My father left me when I was a kid. I came home from school one day and he was gone, and I was alone. My grandmother eventually took me in, but that moment gave me issues that I'm still working through. My grandmother passed away and was buried a couple of weeks ago. I saw my father for the first time in 14 years at his mother's funeral. After the will was read, we learned that my grandmother had left me her property. My father was furious. He feels he has more rights to her property than I do because she was his mother. He's been harassing me to hand over the property to him and promising that I can have it when he dies. I don't want to give him the property because she would have put it in her will if my grandmother wanted him to have it. My father has been going around telling the family that I stole his mother's property right from under him, and I'm trying to punish him for leaving me. My family has been reaching out to me to tell me that even if he abandoned me, I shouldn't forget the importance of filial piety and how being good to my father, even if he isn't good to me, makes a good daughter. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but the comments and the suggestions are beginning to wear me down. Am I the idiot? You are not the idiot. You owe your father nothing for walking out on you. Don't even engage with him. Block his number if you have to. If he attempts to confront you in person, walk away. Put all your relatives on blast and tell them that the matter has been decided, that you're keeping the house, and that you will block anyone who attempts to continue discussing the topic. A fire can't burn without oxygen, so starve this issue of all its fuel. Being good to my father, even if he isn't good to me, is what makes a good daughter? Why would you want to be a good daughter in these circumstances? It sounds like you hardly know him. Not the idiot. Stay strong. And by the way, this is not what stealing is, unless you can steal from yourself. I'd be interested in knowing if, in addition to OP keeping the house, they could report the abandonment to CPS and file for years of child support that are owed. OP, even if you had suggested that your grandmother disinherit your father for abandoning you, you would not be the idiot. Your grandmother left her house to you because she wanted you to have it. End of story. Your father must have had little contact with your grandmother in the past 14 years if she raised you and you didn't see him again until the funeral. His choice to abandon his responsibility to you meant that she ended up taking over. There is zero chance of you inheriting the house when your father dies. If he doesn't sell it and squander the money, it'll be left to a love interest or beer buddy or something. Keep your house. The woman who parented you wanted you to have it. My soon-to-be ex-wife and I have twins, young teens. I found out she had been having an affair with our gardener for a few years. I don't have proof I could use in court. However, she was fired for sleeping with her boss, which I have proof of to use in court. We had a strict prenup. Any cheating would cause the other person to keep the house, most financial assets, and primary custody of the kids. My son kept asking me if mom did something wrong and why we were getting divorced. I usually just said stuff like, "Mommy and Daddy both love you. It's just we aren't compatible, and we'll try the best to work this out," or something to avoid smearing my ex. So yes, I'm angry and what she did was awful, but she's still their mother. My daughter said, "Mom said it's because Dad kept being controlling and manipulative and wouldn't let her do stuff. He now has good lawyers to make her look bad." I explained then what happened, her affairs plus her wasting our money on frivolous stuff like Gucci clothing when we were falling behind on school fees and utilities. I explained how I wasn't controlling and manipulative. I agree I could have been better, and I told them where I fell short. My ex-wife is now angry, saying her kids think she's a whore, and how dare I turn them against her. My son asked her how could she cheat. She told me I ruined their image of her. I told her that's her darn fault. So yeah, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your kids are old enough to understand the truth and the repercussions of said truth. They deserve to know the truth. It's not fair that she gets to smear you with lies, but you have to keep the truth secret. Please though, as a child of divorce, keep them out of the rest of it. They don't need to hear or know all the crap that's going to go on between you and the lawyers and your wife. Exactly. She told me I ruined their image of her. That's rich for her to complain about ruining her image when he told the truth, while at the same time she had no problem telling lies to the kids. If she didn't want people to know about her actions, maybe she shouldn't have done those actions. Mind-blowing idea, I know. Yeah, OP, you can't ruin someone's image by making it more clear. Unfortunately, she ruined her image by doing nasty things. Your kids would have had to find out the truth at some point. They're at that age where they can understand what's going on. So don't beat yourself up. You told the truth because you don't want to lose your kids, not because you're out for revenge.